right, time for Behind the Badge now. Now, 14-year-old Stephanie Isaacson was killed here in the Valley back in 1989 after going missing while walking to school. For 32 years, her murder went unsolved, but thanks to breakthroughs in DNA testing and a donation to keep the case going, Metro Police have positively identified the suspect, and this morning, the teen's family finally has some closure. We're joined now by Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer and Sergeant Miguel Garcia to discuss more on how Metro was able to crack the case. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, Jason. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, you know, what was done was done. This poor family has been wondering for all these years, and thanks to technology and donations, how did it happen, Ray?
Well, the anonymous donor, who we actually know who it is now,
Right.
came forward and made a very generous donation. And because of that donation, we had funding where we were able to do some testing that we otherwise would not have the money to do. And that donation in itself is what broke this case. And to say there was excitement in our office was an understatement.
Absolutely. Real quick, this lab was out of Texas?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's, you know, we have our own internal lab, but there's a lot of this advanced testing that we actually have to contract out and send out to other labs across the country. So that's why we utilize this lab for the genealogy testing that we did in this case.
Okay. I'm real curious to know how Stephanie's family was when they heard the news, and did it bring closure?
It doesn't bring closure.
Yeah.
I mean, in that sense. I mean, obviously they're, you know, glad to have a name that they can, you know, at least know who is responsible. But, you know, at the end of the day, you never bring back your daughter.
Sure.
And that's, you know, very difficult for them.
Sure. Sergeant Miguel, I'll get you involved here. What about the suspect? Whatever happened with him? I believe he had a previous arrest, and now what's going on?
Well, actually, that would be better answered by a lieutenant here. Because
I'm just trying to get you involved.
I understand. I understand.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, so he actually had a previous case that happened 3 years prior, where he was arrested for a murder of another young lady here in the Valley. And that case went to a preliminary hearing, and at the preliminary hearing, there was insufficient evidence to move forward. So at least both these cases now were able to close as a result of the breakthrough on this.
And this suspect's no longer with us?
No, he committed suicide in 1995. Otherwise, he would be being charged for murder in this case.
Sure. Yeah. Do you foresee this happening more now with this technology? And I'm going to ask about the donation part after.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
You know, with the advancements of technology in our cold case section, you know, I have 5 retired detectives that their full-time job now is working on cold cases. And because of these advances and some of the things that we're able to do now, I expect that we're going to make some advancements in a lot of other cases.
That would be great. And all right, now, Miguel, I can't ask you this. How do people get involved? Because if you know, it's almost like giving to a charity. I mean, this is such a huge thing to donate to.
Yeah, if we ask the public if anyone wants to help with donations, they're more than welcome to do so. Contact the LVMPD Foundation and just annotate that the donation is for the homicide cold cases. And, you know, anything helps. And, you know, like in this case, like we said before, it doesn't bring closure to the family, but at least there's some resolution to the case.
Sure.
And at least we're trying to give them a little bit of a better feeling of understanding what happened.
Real quick, I know we have all these television shows now about cold cases and everything, and people have a little bit of an understanding, but what exactly, when does a cold case become a cold case?
There's no real quick answer for that.
Okay.
A lot of times it could, you know, we have detectives that have been in the unit for 14 years and they maintain their cases.
Okay.
You know, but there's always work being done on all of these cases. And that's the one thing I want to make sure people understand is just because a case is 30, 40 years old, we have not forgot about that case. We're still actively always looking through it. We're looking for new evidence, and we're always trying to make steps where we can solve that case.
Well, that's good. I know. I'm sure the community loves to hear that for sure. Yeah. Guys, keep up the good work. Thank you. And you know, Alyssa will be back next week. I know you were disappointed that you got me. Just kidding. All right. And if you have a question for Metro, you can send an email to behindthebadge@fox5vegas.com. All right, let's go to